All right, time now to talk winners and losers on Wall Street. Financial expert Rob Black joining us this morning. Rob, where the markets don't look too hot this morning. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we have to kind of go with this, James, and I'm only going to say, trust me. We've got the one big, beautiful bill coming where there's going to be bigger tax refunds and tax breaks for businesses. We're in a lull. We had an up 2019, 2020, and 2021. Then inflation hit in 2022. The markets were down. We had an up 23, 24, and 25. This seems normal for me. It's a risk-off trade. The Dow was down 600 points earlier today, but it's recovering a little bit. We need a good 10% correction. I wouldn't even mind a 15 to 20% correction, and we're only off about 2%. So we still could have a ways to go. Not predicting, but I've seen it before. Challenger Gray and Christmas came out with a survey on firings, and they were the highest level in quite a few years. So the job market is getting weaker, and potentially we'll have inflation in the back half of the year. So there's a lot of things to weigh in, but nothing too crazy and upsetting for me.
Okay, all right. I haven't dug too deep into this, but I saw the headline that Bitcoin's taking a beating. What's going on with that?
It's getting battered, but not fried, as I like to say. It fell below $67,000, so it's off considerably, 47% from its high back in October of 126,000. The whole year of the Trump administration, the crypto push has been wiped out now. It's down 20% for the week. It's struggling, to say the least. So what's happening is margin calls. A lot of younger investors, i.e. non-professional investors, they're considered retail investors, they're buying Bitcoin on margin. There's a lot going on as it's failing as digital gold. Gold's going up 68% in last year. Bitcoin, which is supposed to be digital gold, is down 30%. It's supposed to be a fight against inflation and macroeconomic craziness in the world, like wars. It's just not doing what it needs to. And there's still no practical use. I don't know anyone who's bought a house or a car with it. If you own it, own 1 to 5%. I think it'll become pretty interesting in the weeks ahead if there's a washout.
Yeah.
Because again, when risk comes back into the market and people push tech stocks higher, they'll probably push Bitcoin higher as well. But we're not there yet.
Not just yet. All right. You know, you mentioned a moment ago Challenger Gray and Christmas and their layoff reports for January. Did you hear about the Washington Post laying off almost like a third of their employees?
Yeah, you and I have been working at Cron for over 20 years, James, and we've seen the internet decimate news organizations. This is not that much of a surprise. I'm almost surprised the Washington Post has stayed relevant for this long. And that's sad to say. It's a great newspaper. They're letting go 300 out of 800 journalists. They're cutting down on their international journalists as well as sports. I get it. I haven't gone to the Washington Post website in years, nor did I get the newspaper like I used to when I lived in that area. They're down to fewer than 100,000 subscribers. That's the lowest level in 55 years. Jeff Bezos owns it, and he's kind of a villain in a lot of people's mind. But if you and I owned a business that was bleeding cash like this, you and I would probably cut jobs as well. It's unfortunate because journalism is so important to the U.S. economy. And that's one of the reasons I love working with you at Cron. Cron's got a big heart in journalism.
Agreed. All right, we've got time for one last story. I'm going to make it Super Bowl themed because we're all about that this week. The betting on the Super Bowl, how are we looking in terms of totals? Are we breaking records, or is it just a big number, but not to worry?
We're breaking numbers, breaking records. And it's interesting because it's still skewed towards illegal betting. My son does these prediction markets things, and I hate it. Really? He's allowed to bet $1 to $5. But $1.7 billion is going to be legally bet on the Super Bowl this weekend. $4.8 billion illegally. Sometimes those are apps that just aren't accepted. Like you can get around California betting by getting a VPN. That's illegal. So $1.7 billion legally, $4.8 billion illegally, total $6.4 billion. I want the Seahawks to win because when the NFC wins, that tends to lead to a good stock market 75% of the time. It's stupid, but I'm going with it, James.
Hey, man, if it helps the economy, sure, why not?